Munson with Munson Music. I'm going to talk about how you can play a song called Take It On Back by Bryant. And it starts out with our main chord progression on an A major chord. And normally you do this first finger on the D second, second finger on the G second, and third finger on the B second fret. Big party on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, the happy sounds of A major. Now randomly, around A's in general, you may want to lift the third finger and make an A sus2, which would be a cool sound. Or you could add in the pinky on the B third fret, kind of get an A suspended kind of going on with that. Or you might even dig on an A7 sus, doing first finger on the D second, second finger on the G second, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third. Might be another A option. It sounds slightly more unresolved, not quite like the tune, but could make some of the chord changes a little bit easier. Or you could even use an A7 chord, kind of taking the regular A major chord and lifting off the second finger. Will give you a little bit of nastiness if you kind of dig on that sound. Or you could even readjust your finger, put 2 on the B string second, pinky on the high E third, which might be kind of cool to kind of use that too if you want to just kind of jam out to it too. And then from the A, we'll be going to a G major chord. And normally you do that first finger on the A second, second finger on the low E third, and third finger on the high E third. If you strum all those together, the happy sounds of G major. Now you may also dig on putting the third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third. Kind of working that option, that can make some of the chord changes easier from the A7 sus to the G major. It's kind of just a 2-finger move. And then from the G major, we'll be going to a D major chord. And normally you do this first finger on the G second, second finger on the high E second, third finger on the B third. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, the heavy sounds of D major. Now, you may also dig on lifting off the second finger, making that a D sus2, or adding in the pinky on the high E third for D suspended, kind of singing some stuff around the D chord that way. And randomly, that could be kind of cool because you could use the A7 sus, move 2 fingers for the G, and move 1 finger, alright, first finger to the G second, for the D sus, and just leave 3 and 4 down here for some easy chord options. And there's a couple different strumming options you may want to play around with through the tune actually. For the most part, we got one main groove, kind of working an A major for A, and then a G for 4, and then a D for 4. And on the intro, that gets kind of adjusted. We got kind of a big D hit, kind of some cool licks we'll talk about in a moment. But you may want to play around with that with just the down count idea. Or one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So we took the A and just tried that a lot. You got down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And the weird part is, for the most part, that G and D half through the tune. So you may want to work just a down, down, up on those chords, kind of G, down, up, D, down, up. Or you could split the pattern and do G with a down, down, up, and the D with the up, down, up. Or I know for myself, I get excited and kind of dig on a G with a down, down, and then go into the D for the up, up, down. So I'm going to kind of experiment with that too, kind of A, G, D, A, da, 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 G, D, A, G, D. Or something else that I like to add to a song like this too is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, down, up, you throw a bass note in for the chord. So on the A, you'd have the A for the bass. On the G, you'd have low E for the bass. And on the D, you'd have the D for the bass. So you might kind of dig on that too. So you could kind of add basses to that, and then have A with bass, down, up, down, G bass, down, D bass, down, A bass, down, up, down, G bass, down, D bass, down, up, A, down, up, G, down, up, down, up. You're kind of evening that out to the bass down for the G and D. Or you can kind of anticipate it, kind of add in just that G bass. Or, for myself, I was really digging on something called the 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're dividing that beat into 2 parts with our down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the A and do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you'd be doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you do it down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you do it up on 2, down on 3. It's kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you go down, up, down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. Now the weird part is through most of the tune we got just that G and D halving, and you may want to work just a down, down, down up on each of those chords. G, down, down, up, D, down, down, up, or you could split the pattern and do the G with the down, 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 up, and then go to the D for the up, down, down, up, down, which is very hip too. So you have the A, G, down, down, up, D, down, down, up, A, G, down, down, up, D, down, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, G, down, down, up, D, up, down, down, up, down, up, A. On the basses, you could add basses to that and work it off a bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or a bass, bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or a bass, bass, down, down, up, bass, down, up, down, up. It'd be very cool. So for the G, D, you may want to work just bass, down, down, up on those chords, or you can split the pattern with basses, and this could be very cool as doing the G with the bass, down, down, up, and then go to the D for the up, bass, down, up, down, up. Randomly, there are some other really cool licks, and on that intro part, actually, it kind of works around some other places for these chords, actually. So instead of doing the A major and reposition randomly, you could work this as a bar chord, and it's a 5th fret bar, a second finger on the G on the 6th fret, third finger on the A7, pinky on the D7. Another way to play your A major. Now your bass note is on the low E string for that A. And randomly, the G major, just to go over some bar options here, kind of relate to the lick a little bit. If you took that shape and slid it down 2 frets to 3rd fret, that would be a G major chord, kind of as a bar chord. And for the D major, randomly, another way to play D is as a 5th fret bar with 3rd finger over the D, G, and B. And randomly, that's the part that kind of gets used in the intro part, kind of on that intro lick. So through that, actually, you could even work that for your basic chord options. Actually, you can kind of work the bass down, up, down, up. And the bass for the D is going to be on the A string now. So you're looking for some bar chord exercises. This could be a really good one to play around with. Even working the 16th idea. And that intro lick kind of plays off a little piece of that chord. Actually, you can start 7 on the D, high E on the 5th twice, 5th on the B, 7 on the D, 5th on the high E, 5th on the B, 7 on the D. And then you go to the 7th fret on the B string as kind of a bend, and then back to 5th fret on the B string. So on that 7th fret, I'm kind of playing the note and pressing up and into the guitar at the same time to kind of get that bend sound before that 5th fret on the B. And then we go back to the 7 on the D, and then 8th fret on the B. We kind of do that twice, and you may want to flatten out. I'm doing this 3rd finger for all the 7s randomly, so I'm flattening out the 3rd finger. It's kind of like a little piece of a bar. 7 on the G, 7 on the D, and then lifting the pinky and kind of just carrying just the bar for that 7 on the G, B, 7 on the G, 7 on the D idea. We kind of do that twice, and then you kind of end up on 5th fret on the B as a slide to 7, and then back to 5th. So it's almost kind of like a slide up and straight down, and you'll have to keep enough pressure on that note on the B string to kind of carry the sound back and forth. So you almost have to keep pressing in on the guitar the whole time, or you'll lose the sound. And then we end up 7 on the G at the very end. So randomly, you could pause the video, look at the tab for that. So you got this 7, 5, 5, 5, 7, 5, 5, 7, 7, bend, 5, 7, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 7, 5, 5, 5, 7, 5, 5, 7, 7, bend, 5, 7, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. It's kind of that intro lick. So in the actual intro, you kind of start off with the A chord. We got our G for kind of a half deal, and then kind of big D push, and that actually kind of happens at the end of the choruses. And you may want to grab that lick. Starts. Actually, you want to kind of use that for the intro. And something else you may want to play around with, especially later on, actually through the tune, is kind of working some other licks. And actually, there's some awesome little solo licks kind of in the background. So as you're going through and kind of working that A and then the G and D and the rhythm part, you can even use this track as kind of a lead guitar practice, kind of an idea. An A minor pentatonic scale can work. Actually, there's some places where this does sound a little weird because that C natural will conflict with the A in a very bluesy, cool way. But you may want to play around with that pattern. It's kind of 5 to 8 on the low E, 5 to 7 on the A, 5 to 7 on the D, 5 to 7 on the G, 5 to 8 on the B, and then 5 to 8 on the high E. So you're playing A, C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, A, C. And randomly, I have a video on Munson Jam tracks that kind of goes over pentatonic scales and pentatonic licks. So if you're interested in some licks in that scale, that can be very, very cool. Now the one note that really conflicts with that A major note is the C natural. In a very cool bluesy way, actually. So on that note, actually, it can sound really kind of off, actually, to your ear if you're going, man, this scale doesn't work. But it does, it's just that it ends up kind of being a really bluesy kind of an idea. So the note that's in the A major chord that conflicts with the C natural is the C sharp, which is 1 fret over. So you may even take the pentatonic scale, for instance, and then kind of play around with the C sharp note. This could be kind of a cool idea in general. Kind of A, we'd have 5, 8, 9 on the low E, and then 5, 7, and then 5, 7, but then 5, 6, 7 on the G string, and then 5 to 8 on the B, and then 5 to 8 to 9 on the high E. So you want to kind of play around with that to kind of play some lead ideas over the top of it. And that C sharp note actually is in a little 2-note Mixolydian pattern that I really like, actually. And that's a mode, and actually I need to make a video on modes, but just to kind of go over a cool little pattern, you can play over that too. It'd be 5 to 7 on the low E, 5 to 7 on the A, 5 to 7 on the D, and then 6 to 7 on the G, 5 to 7 on the B, and 5 to 7 on the high E. So 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 6, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. So it's kind of cool because it's almost 5, 7 on every string. So it might be kind of cool to play around with that pattern too. Or even mixing up between those patterns. Oh, and what I'm kind of doing, actually, a free-form idea could be very cool on this too. You could play a chord, for instance, make up a lick, kind of playing around with those patterns. Play the next chord, make up a lick, play a chord, make up another lick. And you don't have to worry about tempo. I'm gravitating to it, but you know, big A major, make up a lick in pentatonic. Play a chord, make up a lick. Chord, make up a lick. Chord, lick. Chord, lick. Chord, lick. So you might kind of play around with that if you're kind of interested in kind of playing more lead ideas over the top of it. Or you can do the same idea with the Mixolydian pattern we were talking about. even kind of mix it up between those two as ideas too. Play around with that, and actually the only real things to kind of worry about as you're going through, for the most part, is just that A, G, D. At the very end of the chorus, you will hear where there's a big D tag, kind of a big push on the D chord, so you want to watch out for that. And on the bridge part, we almost kind of end up doing the A and the G, D twice, and then we almost have a part where we kind of just break out of that. And in the background, you can kind of imagine an A major. Almost feels like we come back in on the G and D, so you want to kind of watch out for that part too when that kind of happens through the tune. But that's the basics of how you can strum through "Take It On Back" by Chase Bryant. So good luck. Hi, wherever you are in YouTube land. This is Munson Summer with Munson Music Live, Munson Guitar Songs, Munson Covers, and Munson Jam Tracks, thanking you for watching this video, and I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you like this video and subscribe to the channel to see lots more like it. I'm always open to your requests. If you have a song that you love, please let me know so I can write it down on the request list so I can add that to it, because there are probably other people out there who love that song too and would love to learn how to play it. So thanks so much for all the love that you give me, and I hope that you're doing well and kind of figuring out how you can talk with the instrument. We are a small music shop in the middle of nowhere in South Carolina, and you're supporting us by watching this channel. Really appreciate all that love. So best of luck, and let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you in particular too. You can contact me on Facebook. You can leave a message here in the comments section, and I respond to all the comments that I get. So best of luck to you wherever you are.